This is for the Ninja Clan members only. Everybody else, respectfully, you gotta go. Shout out to all of the channel members for making this video happen. It would have never happened if it was not for my channel members asking for this. And big shout out to the channel member Ivan, who literally changed his name to Ninja's Room Tour, man, and took my logo and switched it up and everything. So there wasn't one time that I could go live without him asking, where is the collection video? What's taking so long? This video happened 10 times sooner because of this person right here. So shout out to you, man. But everyone prepared to be underwhelmed. There's some amazing guys out there with shelves and collections that are crazy, like Talker Art, M Vargo, Art G, Laser Pants, Drew G. My stuff is not that crazy. I'm gonna walk you guys through each shelf and show wide shots of everything together, man, but just let's get into this. So as you guys can see, this was literally my collection right here. That was about 2 years ago, I would say, when I was heavy on collecting G.I. Joe Classified because all the boxes matched. Once all the boxes stopped matching and then they started doing weird cartoony art and everything, I said I'm done. Like I still have a lot of those original boxes, but I really wanted everything to match. So that's how it looked 2 years ago. Now it looks a little something like this. So guys, I will be using my phone for this video, not my DSLR camera, just because the video stabilization on phones nowadays is really great and amazing. I don't want to hook my entire DSLR to a rig and everything for that. With that being said, the contrast might be kind of bright at times. I'm sorry. We're going to go from the right over here all the way to the left. This way you guys get to see everything, even shots that aren't in my live stream when I go live, or just shots that are in the background in general. We're going to try to get to everything. I'll be talking throughout the video, just explaining some of the stuff, but a lot of this stuff is just tailored to me, like, and that's why I never cared to do a collection video to show off my collection, because I don't think a lot of people would necessarily like it or understand it, because it's just a lot of kit bash pieces, a lot of stuff that is just tailored to me looking at it and loving it and being proud of it and enjoying it. But you guys are channel members. I don't think I'll ever make this video public, and even if I do, it will guaranteed be no time soon. Not at all. And we're definitely going to get to that side over there too, which leads into a whole other room. But for right now, we're just going to focus on the bookcases, and then I'll do that side at the end. So let's get into these first few bookcases. Guys, I have black shelves. If you know, you know, my shit is dusty, and I didn't want to take down every single figure and clean off every single shelf for this video, so I'm being lazy, but just ignore the dust. You can see dust on every shelf. I try to just keep my shit neat and organized. I dust like once every few months because I have an air filter that I run down here. So it takes a while for dust to accumulate. But as you guys can see, this shit has accumulated. But let's just get into these first few bookcases right here. So just starting off with these top few shelves, I have some of my kit bashed Akatsuki figures because I love Naruto, as well as my native shelf, or I would say my little Warpath Eclipse, her team, her unit of just native soldiers. Then that moves down into the NECA gargoyles, as well as I love Ant-Man. I absolutely love Ant-Man and the Wasp, and you have him downsizing here. I absolutely love that. Spider-Man has some of my favorite villains, so his rogues gallery is one of the best to me. I think the only other one I would say is Batman. But here are just some of my Spider-Man figures. Some of the stuff is kit bash, like the Rhino and stuff. We have Lord Zed, because I'm a 90s baby, so Power Rangers is super big. All Lightning Collection figures, as well as the man that makes the putties. And we have some of my Planet of the Apes figures, my Sentinels right here. And that is about it for just this one side right here, and I really like this side a lot. Now let's get into the main attraction, which is the wider actual bookcases. All these bookcases are just cheap bookcases from Walmart. So my first shelf is my Black Panther shelf. So as you guys can see, in my universe, I have his sister Shuri on one side and his queen on the other. There are little things that I want to do, like paint the white wire to the light. I want to paint all of them black because the white just stands out so much to me on a black shelf. Eventually I'll get around to just painting every wire black. But for right now, I'm okay with how everything is here, and I really do enjoy just looking at this shelf that I dreamed of having as a kid. And next up, we just have some of my orcs. Like, this is my orc shelf, my troll shelf, whatever you want to call it. But I love this mythical shelf, a lot of mythic legions. I love my little short goblin right here. You guys can see his ear is missing. His ear fell off when a lot of the figures fell down, and that broke my heart because that was painted by Nikki Nicole herself, and it just broke my heart that the ear chipped off like that. So I'm hoping that I get to see her one day at a convention and I get to buy another one, not that one in specifically because she makes really limited runs, but just replace it with some more of her beautiful painted work at some point. But this is my troll shelf, just a mix and match of a bunch of different trolls and orcs from a bunch of different companies. And then here is some of my Action Force and classified figures, because I tell you guys all the time, I mix universes together, especially when it comes to classified and Action Force. For me, they go hand in hand, but this is just some of them. I had them spread apart throughout my entire collection, but here is just some. Mainly just a lot of the good guys here. And then we drop down into my Swarm shelf, which I absolutely love. This Swarm figure is my favorite troop builder out of anything Action Force. I think maybe the Praetorian, that robot troop builder that we should be getting soon, might beat them, but they are literally my favorite, especially the Glow Trooper. This is not all of them. This is just their dedicated shelf where I have quite a lot of them with their female leader, aka the Queen Bee. So guys, with that first bookcase done, let's just move along to the next one right over here and work our way down again, shelf by shelf.
All right then, it's morphin' time!
Gotta show love to the Rangers, man. Y'all already know what time it is.
It's morphin' time!
Never thought I would have a Zordon this big in my collection, basically to scale. I absolutely love him. I showed off this statue when I was live. It is a statue piece, but it works perfectly with the Lightning collection.
Winter is coming. Winter is coming.
We have finally made it to my Game of Thrones White Walker shelf. On this shelf, I have Mythic Legions, regular skeletons, kit bashes. I just have anything that reminds me of a White Walker and Game of Thrones. That's all I have on this shelf, basically. Sometimes I just stand in front of my collection, and when I look at certain shelves, it kind of immerses me in that world, and this shelf definitely does that for me. And on this shelf, we have some of my, not all, but some of my G.I. Joe classified baddies. Like, We had a shelf of good guys. This is just a shelf of assorted bad guys. Some of them aren't even G.I. Joe classified. Some can be Action Force. Some can be Kit Bashes. Some can be DC Universe characters, or just characters that look like they would be employed by Cobra. So that's all I have on this shelf right here. And once again, this is not all of my classified figures. My classified figures are spread out throughout my entire collection. You guys will see more in bits and pieces in different places. But let's move on to the next shelf, which is just my classified Hiss Tank shelf. I absolutely love this vehicle. This was a gift from my brother, so I'm very appreciative to have it. Wish it didn't have to be crowdfunded. I will say that until I die. But other than the crowdfunding, this piece is absolutely beautiful, and it looks amazing with these Valorverse Swarm Hordes. These Swarm Troopers look amazing with this Hiss Tank, man. I love everything about this. Only vehicle on the shelf has to go to my Hiss Tank. Every other vehicle I have going across my bookcases and across my collection. But this Hiss Tank absolutely needed to be in a shelf with the light coming down on it. So now let's look at these bookcases, which is usually on the side, starting off with this bookcase right here.
With great power comes great responsibility.
I want you to see me as I am. I want you to need me like I want you. I want you to know I understand how it felt for each time that I hurt you, girl. And I'm so alone that it feels like nothing helps. And I still can't stand to see you with someone else.
This is just my Spider-Man shelf. Any of my shelves that have the Doctor Strange portal on it is usually a culmination of a ton of different heroes from different universes, different times, different spaces that all come together on the shelf. So that's why you guys are going to see a running theme of when there's a Doctor Strange portal, that just means that it's going to be a mixture of that character, but it's not all that same one character in my mind. But I love my Spider-Man shelf with my OG 6-armed Spider-Man up here hanging out in the corner. I love this shelf. It means a lot to me. And here is my Iron Man shelf with Tony and a ton of his different suits. I know that there's a lot of suits that I'm missing, but there's still so much here that I'm super appreciative for. Eventually, I want to get the Igor suit, which is a 1/12 scale. It's like metal and everything. It's just kind of pricey, as well as they sell the Whiplash suit with lights and everything. Igor has lights too. That's 1/12 scale, but they're just kind of pricey, like $100 and stuff. So I've been looking around every convention to see if I could get my hands on them. Haven't come across them. Eventually I'll order them offline, but these are just some of my suits with Tony, and hopefully I'll be able to add to them in the future. And here is just some of my anthropomorphic figures and the humans that transition into these animals in front of them. This is all just kit bashing for the most part, and I really love animal figures, so of course I'm going to have a ton of different anthropomorphic shells and stuff like that. But I really like all the figures that are here. Majority of them are kit bashed. And if we go down one more shelf, we basically have my Ghost in the Shell themed type of figures, where there's nothing but just a bunch of cyborgs, androids, and if there are animals, they are mixed with cybernetic animals like that McFarlane gorilla and stuff. These guys fight against the anthropomorphic shelf because they are tech infused with nature, where the other guys are just nature. Damn, you guys see them spider webs on the horns, man? These little spiders are part of my collection at this point. So now let's move on to the next bookcase and start at the top, which is
and bringing it high. Now be the time we could fly. We are about to celebrate life. We have to give to the most high. We love, we naturally blessed. Light it up and pass it on. The party is on. We going down. Everybody low, low, low. On the body, flow, flow, flow. Far girls go to war. Together we go shout. Let's vibe it up.
And here's my shelf with just some of my Black Panthers. A lot of this is kit bashing, but in my mind, my imagination, these are some of the strongest Black Panthers or Killmongers to ever exist throughout history. So just coming together with the portal from all different times, all different spaces, all different earths and multiverses, these are some of the strongest Black Panthers to ever exist. Of course, starting with the first Black Panther to ever exist that I have right in front of the portal. Now moving on to my next shelf, I'm a big fan of the Castlevania series on Netflix. So this is just my dedicated shelf for those vampires. I have Dracula as well as his love and his son Alucard, as well as some monsters and vampiric type of monsters that are part of his horde. So just a simple vampire shelf with a Mythic Legion steed, the vampire steed that I love so much, man. That horse is so nice. Now this shelf means a lot to me because I am an early 90s baby, and that Sauron, which is like the pterodactyl guy in the back, he was a gift, and I really appreciate it because it allowed me to bring this shelf together and actually create this shelf. So I love having a shelf that's dinosaur themed, but more like extreme dinosaur themed, away from my Jurassic Park collection. But shout out to Laser Pants who hooked me up with this Sauron, and he'll never get it back. I don't care if he wants to be an Indian giver, if he wants to hate me tomorrow, I will fight him for this Sauron. I love that pterodactyl Build-A-Figure. It is beautiful, one of the best Build-A-Figures in my entire collection. So shout out to the White Potato. I wish we had a 6-inch scale Pokemon line, but for now these will have to do. And the legendary Pokemon do have a good range of articulation. They're easy to get, find them at Target, Walmart, Five Below, a bunch of different places. I'm happy with these.
Fear is a tool. They think I'm hiding in the shadows, but I am the shadows.
Just all my different Batmans from different multiverses, different times, and just different suits. I really like this shelf a lot, and like I said, guys, I'm not looking at the same character. I'm looking at different people, different individuals from different multiverses that have all donned the cape at one point or another, or different versions of Bruce Wayne that all come together for a big climactic battle.
The Southern Hemisphere has been taken over. It is time. It is time.
I've always been a really big fan of Starro, just the idea that he can just take control of some of the strongest Justice League members, if not all of them, and do what he wants with them has always been crazy to me. I feel like he never gets the respect that he deserves. So McFarlane definitely made one of my dreams come true by making his Build-A-Figure Starro with all of the chess pieces, as well as have some of the old DC Universe ones, also with some of the Mezco Starro faces that were made. And then right here we have some more anthropomorphic figures, some kit bash, some just standard. I know I love my animal figures, man. It's gonna be shelf on top of shelf of just animals. And then right here I have my Dragon Ball Z collection, whether it's a mix of Kong, Demonical Fit, SH Figure Arts, Dragon Stars, whatever. I don't care. If I could get it to work, I'm gonna get it to work. But here is my collection of just my straight Dragon Ball Z figures. I believe these are actually all the Dragon Ball Z figures that I own, Android Saga being my favorite, so of course I have to have 17, 18, and 16 right in the middle with Cell above them. And I am dying and waiting for them to release a Goten and Trunks. I started a Kit Bash Trunks, but I never got around to painting his clothes actually green. But by the time I do that, they'll probably officially release those two kids. And right here I just have a lot of my arcade fighting figures or my anime figures like Baki, anything that's really hand-to-hand fighting type of figures. I just have them all together in this universe, like they all got brought to one place to join into one tournament. Cannot wait for SH Figure Arts to give us those Tekken figures, because they will be going right on this shelf in this hand-to-hand combat arcade fighting universe. Like I said, right underneath them I do have my Mortal Kombat, Wish we had a 6-inch Mortal Kombat line, so I just kit bash and try to do what I can where I can, as long as it's not too pricey, to make my own 6-inch scale figures. And this is basically all just Mortal Kombat. I feel like Mortal Kombat has such a diverse range of characters. I didn't want them to share a shelf with Tekken, Street Fighter, and those other combat fighters. So this is just my Mortal Kombat stuff. Then right under those guys, it's only appropriate that I have my Shadow Law or Shadow Lu, however you want to pronounce it. In my world, Bison is the one that's really in control and running Cobra above Cobra Commander. Cobra Commander, when he talks on that big TV screen, he's answering to M. Bison, who obviously physically is, you know, really, really powerful, but he's also very organized and very strategic as well with his own army. And I just love the way his red goes with the classified red. And next up, can you guess? Can you guess? Can you guess? Of course, we have more animals, more anthropomorphic figures, or just wolves in general. This is my wolf and my bear shelf, because I have so many bears at this point and I have so many wolves at this point. I just wanted to bring them together as like a native tribe that has made a pact to work together and not against each other. I love my bears, especially the white one. I love them so damn much. Shout out to you, man. You know who you are. Some stuff on this shelf is kit bashed and other stuff is just standard right out of the box. And of course, I'm a big Poison Ivy fan, right? I mean, who wouldn't be? With that being said, I had to give her own shelf with all the plant life or characters or creatures that looks like she would either control or work with. And I love the way this green shelf looks. She was at the bottom of the shelf, so right above her we have Hades. We have his whole underworld little setup over here. I got Mythic Legions, I got Storm Collectibles, I got Marvel Legends. I got everything here, whatever's gonna fit in and fit that theme of Hades, you know, king of the underworld. I like the way that it looks. I'm glad that it's here. And then of course, right above Hades, we have Poseidon, the ruler of the seas. If you watch my action figure reviews, this shelf is fairly new because I recently got this Poseidon in, and I love this. I love the fact I basically have a bookcase of just gods. I love this so much. So of course, if we have the underworld, then we have the sea. We have to have who's above that. And over on Mount Olympus, the top shelf is my Zeus. I just call this my Mount Olympus shelf. I really love this shelf for obvious reasons. I'm using a mixture of figures here. Berserker Studios that I got over at 5K Toys. I have Cesare figures that I got from 5K Toys. I got a McFarlane figure over here that I'm using as like Hermes, like the Speedster. I have a McFarlane Wonder Woman that I'm using as like a stand-in Nike. Then I also have the McFarlane 300 Hippolyta, Queen Hippolyta. I'm using her as like a Hera or Athena, whichever one you want her to be. Got some cotton laid out for the clouds just to give it that look. And then every other figure that is bucket naked is like this old school X-rated line that came out for like X-rated film stars. And I really like it. It didn't have much articulation, but as you guys can see, they sculpted everything out on those female figures. And then over here we have some shelves that I am still working out exactly what I want them to be, but for the most part I'm okay with the themes that's happening in each cube here. We have my Batman's Rogue Gallery as well as my DLX Transformers, easily the most expensive figures in my collection, but also the most detailed and intricate figures. They don't transform, but the detail on these things are crazy. They're 3-0 figures. If you know, you know. I stopped collecting them though because they are a little bit too pricey, and I just didn't want to go down that rabbit hole. My wife got a lot of them for me as a gift, and I did not feel good that she was paying this crazy amount to get me these beautiful figures. They are beautiful and I'm happy that I have them, but I am not going forward with that line. Then we have my Batman's Rogues Gallery from McFarlane, DC Collectibles, DC Direct, Arkham Knight figures. There's so many figures here, but they're all Batman related. Then we have some Shredder, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from NECA, the Hasbro Power Rangers Lightning collection, as well as more vampires. This is just another extension of my vampire shelf. I really love this, especially having my Lady Death figure here in the front. One of the first and most important gifts that I ever got from my brother was this figure right here. I absolutely love this. Love the little carpet area that it has on that shelf too. Then up here we just have some of my either villains or anti-heroes like Black Adam, but I'm a big fan of Giganta. I cannot wait for McFarlane to give us a Giganta figure, because I mean, it's in the name, she's gonna have to be gigantic. So I'm excited for that, but that's just what this is. And I let everybody know I am a huge Ghost Rider fan, so this is just some of my Ghost Rider universe figures. I do have a few more that I'm gonna wind up adding to this as well, that I haven't totes or that I have not completely finished kit bashing yet, but for the most part, this is what I have here right now. I don't even have lights in these cases right here. Eventually I'll put some lights in them, but for right now I'm okay with it as it is. And just one of the few things that are not in scale in this collection that you guys can see is this amazing, beautiful little guy right here. This was a gift that I'm super appreciative for. This came out, I believe, in the late 90s. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful gift, man. And I got it in recently, and it was brand new, never opened in a package. And of course, figures gotta live free in my collection. So I opened the package. This thing has been sealed since like 95 or 98. And of course, I opened the package just to let this guy breathe and chill, because I know I'm never gonna sell anything like this. Like, I'm keeping this with me until I die. It doesn't bother me to open the package as long as I know that I'm going to appreciate it for the rest of my life. I love this little guy right here. I used to try and keep my Marvel Legends boxes back when I did buy a lot of Legends. Now I barely do, so I don't really care to keep the boxes, but I like that the side art used to match up. But this is just a lot of my favorite figures. Starting off, you guys can see my horror shelf right here. Then it goes up into my Gotham City Sirens. You guys know I love my Poison Ivy, Harley, Catwoman. I think they're an amazing trio. And some of this stuff is kit bash, some of this stuff is just standard. Hey, these are just some of my favorite characters. And right here I'm just showing off my kit bash version of older martial artist, with Akuma, an old Akuma, being the strongest out of the old martial artist group. But like I said, some of this stuff is just standard. A lot of this stuff is kit bashed. You guys know I enjoy taking stuff and making it my own, or making it tailored to where it feels specific and good to me. And here is like my version of the Injustice, or the Go Against Justice League Suicide Squad, led by Oracle and Jason Todd. Along with Poison Ivy, we got Power Woman or Power Girl. They're acting as Donna Troy, Black Adam, and Deadshot. That would be an awesome ass team, just to see how the dynamics would work together. And then here I have like my future version of the Justice League, led by the strongest hero in the future, which is Static Shock. Then I have some Macheko Predator figures. Like, in my mind, this is just a tribe of females that are surviving in the Predator world. And then I have some of my Kit Bash Warhammer figures down here. So like I said, a lot of this stuff is just kit bash to my imagination, my own storylines. Got some Marvel Legends zombies here. I wish they would have continued with the zombies line. Hopefully the What If, they continue to add to it. But I love zombies, so of course Marvel Zombies is definitely something that I needed in my collection. One of the rare times that I actually paint when I kit bash. And then we just get into a bunch of just different Rangers, just all different teams. Rangers in older age, younger age, some of my favorite teams, like from the originals all the way up to Dino Thunder. I really enjoy Power Rangers, or just morphing in general. That concept is really cool. So yeah, these are just basically just some of my favorite figures, favorite kit bashes. Here's my My Hero Academia shelf, and that leads into the Sentinel Fighting Armor shelf. And I love Sentinel. I'm always praising Sentinel's Fighting Armor series, and I will continue to. Hopefully I get Magneto soon and have him up on a channel. Here we have Harley with some of the goons. And like I said, man, I never really cared to show off my collection because I know it's so unique to me. A lot of it is kit bashing. A lot of it is just simple as customs, no real painting for the most part. But here's some of my Jedis and my Siths, as well as my Armored Justice League right here. and just some more Warhammer figures. Like I said, man, just all really simple stuff. Some of my Avengers, female Avengers. Looking at these action figures on a day-to-day basis it's honestly what just makes me happy. And it can look random, but in my mind I know what certain teams are, I know why certain things are where they're at, and I try to keep it neat and organized. I really can't function in a mess. Like, I see some people's collections videos and it's just messy. They're stepping over boxes. Like, that's rare for me, and it doesn't stay that way for too long. I have to work and be able to function in a clean, organized space. I feel better. I produce better art, just better stuff in general. See, like, here's just some of my favorite heroes, like overall some of my favorite heroes. Shield agents with powered up weapons, like just assortment. Here's some of my favorite villains in general. And then we just go further down into just symbiotes. Nothing but a shelf of nothing but symbiotes. And here is basically my station where all the editing and magic happens. So nothing nice and fancy to show off here, but I do have my favorite mouse pad. I gotta keep her close to me, man. I love this mouse pad. I love Game of Thrones, not the ending, but I just love Game of Thrones overall, and I love Daenerys. So, you know, I gotta have that cheeked up Daenerys as my mouse pad. But yeah, this is just where all the work gets done. So you guys have basically seen everything. On this side, there is a whole other side around there. Once we turn that corner, you will see a whole other side. But this is what I'm talking about. Like, I do have figures and totes that I'm not proud of. I want to be able to have all my stuff displayed. That lets me know I can really appreciate it, even though some of the totes are just kit bash stuff. So those won't ever be displayed. It's just kit bash parts and pieces. Eventually, we will make our way to the other side of the basement, which is basically this same amount. Maybe this same amount, maybe a little bit less, but eventually we'll do that. But this is the side that everybody asks us to see, because this is the side that everybody sees. Gotta be Ninja's room tour part 2, but like I said, this is the side that everybody wanted to see, because it's the side that people see normally in my background when I'm live, and it's just this side of the room. The other side is my Jurassic Park collection, Green Lanterns, a lot of DC figures, some dioramas that are set up. Sorry this video took so long, but like I said, I never really cared to show off my collection. I also think it's a vulnerable thing, because it's like such a safe space for me, and I think that's another big reason why I never cared to show off my stuff, or, you know, because in some way you feel like even though people are not here, you're inviting people to be here, you know. And like I said, this is such a safe space for me to just sit back, chill, think. I literally just roll my chair over to the bookshelves and I just look at my collection on my shelves, because I never thought I would have this many action figures. And I know this is nothing compared to what some people have, and this is a lot compared to what some people have. But I tell you guys all the time, don't compare yourself to others, just compare yourself to you. Compare yourself to where you started. And from where I started, this is everything, like absolutely everything. I'm so proud of I still say a little collection, because I see guys like Talker Art, but I'm very happy with my little collection in my mind. I absolutely love what I have, and I'm so appreciative for it. A lot of this stuff, at least 60 to 70% that you guys have seen in this video, is stuff that I worked really hard to acquire, really hard to get. And then the other percentage, after the 70% of the stuff that I purchase, is gifts from my wife, gifts from my mom, gifts from our girlfriend, gifts from my brother. Like, it just so, and on the other side of the basement is where I do have a lot of my gifts, stuff that was made for me by subscribers, channel members, etc. So eventually we'll make our way over there, I promise. But right now, I didn't think this video was gonna take this long, man. I'm sorry, but I really do hope that this video wasn't a complete letdown for you guys. I tried to make it interesting. My shelves are just really tailored and unique to my specific interest and likes. I hope that this motivated you guys to, you know, try out some kit bashing, or try to mix and match your shelves up. And maybe it could have just motivated you guys to dust off your shelves. Looking at how dusty mines are and how bad mines are, don't be me, be better than me. Dust off your shelves, dust off your shit. Clearly you guys seen how dusty mines was. Be better, man. just make sure that whatever you're looking at, you are extremely happy with looking at, because it could literally be your last day looking at it. Like if I pass away tomorrow, I knew that my last day in my action figure room, I was happy with everything that I saw. Like no questions, no doubts. I'm happy. Like sometimes when I'm editing, because you guys seen where I edit at, sometimes if I get overwhelmed or I get tired or I get stressed, I literally just turn around and face my collection to feel better. That's a beautiful thing. Like, because I remember what it's like to not really have a collection to look at. I remember I was able to fit all of my female characters into a shoebox. Every female figure I had, I fit them into a shoebox. Be really messy, unorganized, and looking at my stuff didn't make me feel better. It made me feel overwhelmed. But now I'm at a point where looking at my stuff literally makes me feel better. Yo, I appreciate you guys, man. Shout out to all of my channel members. Like I said, I don't think I'll be making this public anytime soon. Eventually, I'm sure I will, because usually collection videos do help content creators grow. So eventually I'll make it public, but for right now, at least the first few days, a week or whatever, I just want this for the channel members, man. Comment down below if you've seen anything, absolutely anything that you have questions about. Just timestamp it. Just timestamp it. Say, hey, what was that figure next to this figure or whatever? Just timestamp it and I will answer. You guys are channel members. I will do my best to try to answer whatever questions you guys have. Thank you so much for being patient, supporting the channel. I made a promise on my last live that this will be my next video. So now I can finally start editing another video, but I had to get this out after my last live. This had to be the first video. I hope this video just helped in some type of way, even if it was just chill vibes and relaxing the whole time, whatever, like it, however it could have helped. I hope it inspired and motivated it in some type of way. Yo, y'all be safe out there, man. Articulated Ninja Clan for life. Peace.